you're selling your home, I highly suggest that you do not invest in these improvements or upgrades. I just don't think you're going to get your return on your investment. In my opinion, the market's kind of slowing down. You don't want to over upgrade or over improve your house to a point where you're not going to get the money back out. So let's get into it. You don't want to do any major improvements on a property unless you're very confident you can get the money back out. Where I see people spending a lot of money and they just don't get their money back out is the exterior of their home. So they put pools in the backyard, or they put elaborate outdoor kitchens, or they put koi ponds, or they spend a ton of money in that backyard making it look like the Taj Mahal. I swear, I put more money in my backyard than I put in the interior of my house. If you are planning on doing these huge elaborate improvements to your backyard and expecting to get it out in the short term, and when I say short term, anywhere from a month to a year and even 2 years, it's not a good investment. Now, if you want to put a pool in your backyard and have the kids over and be the party house for the next 10 years, then you do you. I'm specifically talking to people who want to put their house on the market and are asking me the question like, hey, should I put a pool in? Should I put a outdoor covered cabana? What do you suggest to improve my home to get top dollar? And all I'm going to tell you is just make the backyard look tidy. I would not do those big investments right now, especially considering the market conditions, which aren't ideal right now. Today is October 27th, 2024. Market's a little slow. We're going into an election. I wouldn't really recommend throwing a ton of money in elaborate upgrades for the sole purpose of selling your home. In fact, you might deter buyers because they don't want to spend the extra money for the super duper backyard. They might want to just have a backyard that's really plain and simple, and over years, maybe they improve it. The other thing is you might improve the backyard to something they may or may not like, or your style might be a little bit different. So I say no to large improvements in the backyard. All right, here's another improvement I'm not in love with, and that is these ADUs or granny flats. It's like an additional separated housing unit that you can build on your property. So a lot of my followers and a lot of my own clients are asking me, hey, Audra, what do you think about this? I think it will add a great deal of value to the home. I don't know. I've never had anybody tell me I have to have an ADU on the property. The other thing is a lot of people don't want to have that on their property. It really depends on how the property is set up. But if you are a homeowner and you're putting an ADU on the property for the sole purpose of selling it, realize these things are expensive. They're not like, oh, we just, put something together and it's 10 grand. It can be, depending on the size, depending on the state, but it can be anywhere up to $100,000 to $150,000 minimum just to get the proper permits and building codes and blah, 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 blah. So is someone going to spend $150,000 over the last comp because you have an ADU? And I just wouldn't risk it. So I'm not in love with the ADUs where they take the garage and they convert it into a bedroom and they go down to the city and they get all the permits and it's all legal. But most buyers, in my opinion or my experience, aren't loving that they don't have a garage to park their cars in it, right? So, you're going to spend all this money improving something on your property that may not be the use that your buyer wants it for. Now, in general, like when your garage is not properly permitted, that garage is not considered square footage on the property, just the living spaces. So the only way to get additional square footage is to get it permitted through the city. And of course, there will be another assessment for property taxes when you go to do that. So I'm just not really in love with that build out the garage for a living area. Just my opinion. I don't think you're going to get a great deal of return on your investment. So another one I'm not in love with, which I'm all about trying to make the universe greener and be responsible for our emissions and all that. But I wouldn't suggest buying solar panels for the sole purpose of selling your home. And the reason for that is, it's still relatively new. Buyers don't really understand how the whole thing works. If you lease it, they have to qualify for it. If you're selling your home and you have leased solar panels on your property, it can be a nightmare. It's very labor intensive. You have to go through the solar company. You hope to God they're responsive. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. It can be very difficult. So if you are selling your home, I highly suggest that you do not make that investment. If you're a long-term homeowner and you want to get the benefits of solar, I'm just going to recommend that you research it and understand what you're signing up for. Okay, full disclosure, I have solar panels on my house. I installed it 3 years ago. I have about 2 years left before I reap the benefit of my investment. But I have SDG&E as my electric company. They are the most expensive electric company, I think, in the nation. It was like double from Southern California Edison, which they switched over about 10 years now. So our electric bill went through the roof overnight. So if you're in a situation where you have thousands of dollars every month and it's prohibitive for buyers to purchase your home, then perhaps you make the investment in solar lease or purchasing solar panels outright. However, if you're just doing it just because you think, your buyers are going to be more apt to purchase your home, I would just say make sure you understand the pros and cons and really talk to that realtor that is representing you, their thoughts on it. I just don't think most people are like really die hard on the solar panels right now. Could be wrong. So I want to forewarn you, appraisers value homes based on bedroom count. I mean, not always, but that is an adjustment that they look at in their appraisal. So if you have 4 bedrooms and you want to combine 2 to make it one big room, I wouldn't recommend doing that. It's not going to add a great deal of value to your property from an appraiser standpoint and potentially from a buyer standpoint. I recently had a client who had a primary bedroom and one of the secondary bedrooms was right next door, and they tore out the wall and made a very elaborate shishi closet like I've never seen before. And although it was beautiful, when I brought the buyers in, they're like, okay, so this is really a 3-bedroom, right? So be careful with that bedroom count. There's a lot of young families that prefer having more bedrooms. If they want to tear out a bedroom and make it one big bedroom, let them do that. But I wouldn't suggest that you make that investment if you're trying to sell your home. Another thing I would not recommend investing in is a very elaborate stereo system, okay? So back in the day, we used to put all these speakers in the wall and the subwoofer. Well, they have all these like Sonos systems and Echoes and Alexas, and they're tied into the security, and they're all managed on their cell phone. So let the buyer figure out what type of stereo system and equipment they want. Don't go to all the effort and putting all this fancy stuff in there unless you're a rock star and you need to have like the big subwoofers all over the house. But more than likely, if you're watching my channel, ain't a movie star or a rock star yet. A lot of you are reaching out asking if you should replace your floors if you put your house on the market. And I really can't answer that question unless I see your floors, spend a little time researching your neighborhood. You should rely heavily on your realtor to give you some advice because they're going to know the area, they're going to know what's customary. But to be fair, I think it's a pretty decent rule of thumb that if your carpet is soiled, you should probably replace it. And don't do this thing where it's like, oh, the buyers, I'll just give them a credit. Buyers don't want to do it, okay? They would rather just have carpet that's clean and sanitary rather than having to rip it out and smell and coordinate. If your tile is in reasonable shape and the grout lines are clean and there's nothing broken, but it may not be the trendiest thing, then maybe you put beautiful area rugs. Once again, I would rely heavily on your realtor to give you that guidance. But we are in a market that's stabilizing right now, slightly trending down. You don't want to throw good money into a market that is stabilizing with slightly trending down. Be really careful with the investments that you're putting in your home. Know the cost. Now, most of the people out there that are selling their homes have quite a bit of equity. So maybe they don't get the exact same dollar that they got from that neighbor's house down the street, even though their house might be more upgraded, but they're still ahead of the game when you look over the 5-year period. Don't be greedy with the ask price. Make sure you price your home based on the condition of the home. Okay, we're going to talk about 2 high-ticket items, and that is roof and windows. Now, if you're in Florida, you guys are going to tell me, oh, we have to get our windows replaced and we got to get a roof in perfect condition, or the insurance companies are not going to insure our homes. And I totally hear you on that. However, if you're going to replace your windows, I wouldn't replace it with the top of the line $150,000 ironclad window with a 200-year warranty. I would just be careful with that. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you should. I don't know. I'm just telling you that those type of windows are very expensive, and I'm not sure you're going to get your return on your investment. If your roof needs to be replaced, then go replace the roof. However, if you just need some minor repairs on your roof, if you have some broken tiles or if you have some areas that need patching, then I'm going to recommend that you take care of that ahead of time. Get a roof inspection ahead of time. Get it done, right? And if you have windows that have compromised seals, or they have a crack in the window, or if they're not opening and shutting properly, or if the screens are all broken, I would suggest that you replace that, okay? The market is getting a lot more competitive. I wouldn't make huge investments, but I would make sure that your house and those bigger ticket items are in good working order. Another high ticket item is that furnace and air conditioning unit. And a lot of you are like, I'm not replacing it. It's working just fine. It might need a little Freon, but we'll just fill her up. Okay, you guys, that Freon stuff is illegal. You're not supposed to fill it up. And of course, it's gonna come up in a home inspection. If you have the money and if the market's cooperating and if you're trying to pull top dollar, you might want to consider replacing those air conditioning units or even the furnace. Your buyer will probably notice it, and if you are living in environments that are hot, like Arizona, like you got to get that air conditioning unit working, or if you're living in Alaska, the furnace better gosh darn work, right? So every area is different. I live in a mild climate, so oftentimes we just kind of make a little fix-it and give it a little juice and give it a little love and it's off running again. But what I've noticed is if you have your air conditioning units on the roof or outside, there's a lot of weather damage, whether you use them a lot, and the buyers aren't in love with the idea that they're going to have to replace the unit somewhere down the line. So I would recommend at a minimum to get it serviced, and if it's really on its last leg, you can always find a refurbished model, or you can even, find some deals online, especially at the end of the year. Let's talk appliances, okay? A lot of you are reaching out saying, hey, my appliances are white or they're yellow or they're old. They still work fine, but they're not really cool. Like most buyers aren't gonna like it. Should I replace it? And I think you just gotta ask yourself, like, what's the market? What's your metro area doing? What's your neighborhood comps looking like? Did they replace those appliances? And a lot of the reason why you guys are asking me this question is because you can't find the same size. So you're gonna have to find a different size, and it's gonna cost a lot to retrofit these little guys into the area that was intended for the oven or the microwave or the dishwasher, okay? Or the toaster oven or whatever. So I'm gonna say appliances are a big deal for people. It really is. They walk in the kitchen, like kitchens and primary bedrooms are the main selling feature in any home. So I would really say probably more than likely, if it's on its last leg, then you might want to consider replacing it, finding a refurbished model, something a little more updated. I know we love our kitchens and our bathrooms to be remodeled, but what I see happening is a lot of you homeowners are redoing it to a style that's not really the buyer style. Something that you saw on a YouTube video that you did, and now it's like the buyer might have a different taste. So I'm gonna suggest in a stabilizing market that's slightly trending down, that you just price your house properly and you do minor upgrades. So maybe the faucets need replacing, or maybe the cabinet doors could use some different handles, or maybe you paint the cabinets or replace the toilet or put a different countertop on the kitchen, or maybe you do some different type of flooring in the bathroom if it's carpet, right? Or change out some of the towels, like minor little things, but to re-gut the entire bathroom and relocate the shower and the bathtub and push out a wall to make it bigger, I would just be careful with doing that. We're in a much different market. And as far as those kitchens, there's a lot that can be done with kitchens, just accessories alone. Maybe you change out a backsplash. You don't need to do mega things in a kitchen to get it sold. The easiest way to sell a house is that price point right now. We got high mortgage rates and affordability is an issue. Maybe you take that money that you'd put in the upgrades and just reduce your price. Might not be a bad idea. Just saying. In the last 3 years, a lot of these homeowners stuck a ton of money into their houses, and they reaped the reward. They got $100,000, $200,000, $300,000 over their list price because they made those changes and alterations. So was it really the upgrades, or was it really the buyer demand that drove the prices of the homes up? And in my opinion, it's a combination of both. So I just want to warn you, moving forward in this new market that we're faced with lower buyer demand, we don't want to over-improve our house, and we need to be realistic about where the market is. Just be careful. I'm here to protect you. I'm here to help. So if you got any benefit out of this video, please subscribe to my channel, smash the like button. I really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.